Hi there, welcome to the archives. So today's Palm Sunday. I wanted to, I'm going to share some poetry from Children of Promise. But before that, I wear my Ghana t-shirt today because a couple days ago, this week, on the 25th of March, Ghana, there was a historic move made at the UN. It was led by our president, John Dramani Mahama, and it was supported by the African Union. I just quickly asked Gemini to give me an overview of it because I've been seeing a couple of things and I have read about it, but for the most part this week I try to stay out just because I have my own issues right now with Ghana and Ghana for. But this is something that I thought it was important for me to share, especially because I didn't acknowledge our Independence Day earlier on this month, which was on March 6th. And so basically it tabled a landmark resolution at the United Nations General Assembly. It says that the resolution A80L.48 was officially designates a transatlantic trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement as the greatest crime against humanity. I'm in agreement, right? In history. There are so many different crimes of, we see right now, there's crimes of humanity happening in so many places. This is a significant escalation from previous UN language, which was softer. It referred to slavery as a tragedy or crime, but crime against humanity is more specific, right? And so it passed with an overwhelming majority, but the results basically show a divide between the global south and the Western powers. Shocking. The Western powers were the ones that did the enslaving, so it's no shock there that they're going to be opposed to it. So 123 countries were in favor. The African Union, which is 54 African states. Again, when you say, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people list countries and then they say Africa. Africa is not a country. Africa has 54, I always think it's 53, but it's 54 nation states in there. There's 54 countries in Africa. We're not a country. Africa is not it's a continent, just like North America, Asia, Europe. These are continents, right? Australia. And so CARICOM nations, Brazil, China, Russia, and much of the global south. Guess who was against it? The United States, Israel, and Argentina, right? The United States just gave Argentina a whole bunch of money to do God knows what. Same with Israel. So it makes sense that those three, right? Oddly, Canada abstained, which I'm not surprised. If you're paying attention to where Canada is moving, it wouldn't be surprising that Canada is abstained, especially because Canada had slavery of African descendant folks as well too, right? So it shouldn't be a shock, but it's sad. The United Kingdom abstained, obviously no shock there. A lot of the European member states, no shock there. Canada and Japan. I don't know what Japan is doing. I wanted to go to Japan and then I saw that and was like, okay. So 52 countries abstained, okay? And so that's all I wanted to share. What does it mean? Basically asked, what does it mean? Recognition of, how do you say that? Jus cogens. It basically, slavery was a violation of jus cogens, peremptory norms in international law. These are the higher laws, is what it says here, that no country can opt out of. This would usually provide a legal basis for lawsuits in international courts. And I think that's what we're trying to move towards, right? We've seen a lot of other folks who had injustices against them. They were compensated. In this case, it was the slave owners that were compensated, not the enslaved people, right? Japanese internment camp, you see that folks were paid back. The Jewish Holocaust, the European Holocaust against Jews, you see that some of them were compensated. The South Asian community in British Columbia, right? Chinese head tax, a lot of these folks were compensated. Black Africans were never compensated for slavery. And so look up on that. That was Ghana this week, making headways in the news. And that's all I wanted to share, okay? I don't have a lot of thoughts right now about that. I actually have a lot of thoughts about that. I don't want to share any publicly because I'm still trying to think of it. And I think one of the things on LinkedIn was like, how did Ghana become basically the one that takes us over? And I'm curious to know that as well too. I think it's high time that somebody did take that. I am proud that we are making the waves. I still hesitant because there's a lot of hypocrisy, I think, coming out of Ghana right now, right? Trying to act like bastions of humanitarianism and human rights. And meanwhile, there's a lot of human rights violations going on, colluding with the United States, right? So the United States just voted against this, and yet Ghana will still go into bed with the United States when it comes to the queers and the gays and the lesbians and the trans folks and, right? The witches. And so I'm just kind of like, pick a side, Ghana. Are you on the side of human rights, or are you not on the right side of human rights? Because you can't just cherry pick. So, you see, my throat is even. I'm going to end it there. Until next time, I'm going to get back to read some poetry by women, because we're ending off Women's History Month. So I just wanted to share some poetry as well too for the day. Okay, so happy Sunday. Happy Palm Sunday for those who observe. And I hope as you're reflecting on the crucifixion of Jesus, who some call Isa, I hope you're thinking about modern day parallels, right? Who is being crucified nowadays? Who is doing the crucifying? Barbarous, who would be the one that actually committed crimes that is going up to face their consequences, and we say, no, save the criminal, send the innocent for crucifixion. It still happens, right? It's not new. We're seeing that right now. The Epstein classes is what you guys are calling it, right? All of them, no, don't send him to the cross. Send Jesus, who is the one pointing fingers at the authorities. We still hate truth tellers. We still hate folks who are holding the state accountable, political figures accountable, right? So that's all I wanted to say. So until next time, see you soon.